Alright friends, today we are going to be starting our Dia de los Muertos sugar skull project. So you are going to get a blue piece of paper and a white piece of paper, and then every table will get one of these stencils. So we're going to start by writing our name on the back of the blue paper along with our class code. And then we are going to take our stencils and we're going to trace them on our white piece of paper. Now we want to be able to fit two, so you want to get it pretty close to the edge. And then we're going to go ahead and cut these out. I folded my paper over so I could cut them both out at the same time. You can do that if you would like. However, our paper is a little bit thick, so sometimes it's hard to cut through. So if it's easier for you to trace both and cut out both, that's totally fine. If you want to try folding it over and cutting both out at the same time, that's also fine. So now I need to glue these down to my paper. I want to make sure that I'm putting glue on the side with pencil. So I also want to lay these out first because we need both of them to fit on the paper. So you want to make sure that they both fit and have a little bit of space around the sides before gluing them down. I'm going to use liquid glue. You can use glue sticks if you prefer, but I'm just going to put a few dots around the edge. Remember, we do not need a lot of glue. I don't want to see any glue globs on your projects. And I'm lining up that edge with the bottom of my paper. Okay, so now I have both of my sugar skulls done. I'm gonna move my template to the side for now. Our goal here is to make a story with our two little people. So they can be whoever you want them to be. They could be a couple, they could be a mother and daughter or father and son. They can be whoever you want them to be. You want to make up a nice story for them to help kind of design their characters. Once we get our skulls glued on, our next step is to use scraps from the scrap bin to add all of the details. So the eyes, nose, mouth. We looked at several different images of what these could look like. Some of them have like actual eye shapes on them. Some of them have like flowers for the eyes or hearts for the eyes. Normally the nose is an upside down heart, and then I will show you how I go about making the mouth when I get to that point. So I'm going to start cutting and gluing some of my shapes down, but again, yours does not have to look anything like mine. So I got my eyes and my nose for both out of one little strip of black paper. We really want to use as much as we can because everyone will be using from the same scrap bins. Yours do not have to be made with black paper. You can use whatever color you want to add the eyes and nose. You can make it super colorful, or you can do black and add in details like I'm going to do here in a minute. For the mouths, I'm going to cut out two thin rectangles. And to make the mouths, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to cut squares out of it. So I will show you what I mean by that. So I just cut little squares out of the bottom. Now I'm going to flip it over and do it to the other side. Okay, so as you can see, I just took that little rectangle and I cut out little squares from either side, and now I have the perfect little skeleton mouth. So I'm going to repeat that for this one. Okay, so now that I have eyes, nose, and mouth, which are all of the required things, now I'm going to go in and add all of the other details that I want to add that'll make these people their own thing. So I have a whole bunch of scraps to use, including some white ones from when I cut out my faces. So right here, I'm just measuring the eyes to make sure whatever I put in there will fit. I'm folding it over so I can cut out two. You don't have to put two matching things in the eyes. You could do two separate things. if you wanted, but because I want to put 2 in, I'm just folding it over so I get 2 of the exact same thing. So I have added some details to their face. Now we need to give them some clothes. So when you're working on the clothes, you should set down your scrap piece of paper and make sure you mark out where the neck opening is. Same for if you're going to add hats or hair, you want to place it over top of the sugar skull to mark where it is, or you can bring back out your tracer and mark there. Okay, that is where I am going to pause. There's still a whole bunch more details that I could add, but I have a lot on here. So I have the eyes, nose, mouth. I gave them some clothes. I gave her some jewelry. We have some hair on her that I just kind of pieced together. If you find a really big piece, you can just do one big piece of hair. Mine didn't quite fit, so I pieced it together with some black that I had. I added some little hair accessories. I gave him a hat. I could keep going. I just want you to add lots and lots of details. I want to really see the story of the couple or the family that you choose to collage together. When you are finished with this, you are going to art Sonia it, and then you are going to turn it into me.